Hey, badass business owners. My name is Tammy, and if you own a small business serving your local community, then you are in the right place. And today I want to start off with a story. Guess what? Tomorrow, everybody's going to wake up and everybody is going to crave tacos. So if you sell tacos in any way, shape, or form, your business is going to blow up. If you make great looking tacos with tons of good stuff in it, nice and juicy, guess what? Your taco business is going to be great. Forget Taco Tuesdays. This is tacos every day. And if you make okay, or even tacos, you're going to do well as well, because guess what? Everybody wants tacos and they just want to go to their closest taco place and get them some tacos. Now, some people are going to drive miles to get to the best tacos, but most people are not going to have a lot of pickiness, if you will, around the tacos that they eat. So if you have a taco business, it's going to go through the roof. So what's going to happen is, so the next day, guess what? Everybody wakes up and everybody's got cravings for tacos. So everybody that sells tacos does fantastic. If they have tacos out of their house, they do great. If they have a taco truck, they do great. And if they have a taco brick and mortar, they do great. It doesn't matter. Everybody who sells tacos does great. Matter of fact, they're doing so good that people that sell other types of food start selling tacos as well. It's on everybody's menu because it is the number one thing that people want. Well, what's going to happen is, because this taco business is doing so well, everybody's going to be making more money than they could ever imagine, because they're just selling tacos left and right. Some of these folks are going to say, my taco business is doing so good, I need to get more. I might need to get more trucks. I might need to have another taco truck. I need to go to a brick and mortar, or maybe I have a brick and mortar and now I need a bigger brick and mortar building. Whatever the case may be, I need to hire more people because my taco business is through the roof. So tacos everywhere. Well, what happens is, at some point, this taco frenzy is going to have to come to a halt, right? And at some point, the good taco people and people that run their taco business really well are going to really bubble to the top. And then people that were kind of just slapping, some lettuce and cheese inside of a tortilla with some meat and calling it a taco, they may or may not survive, because it really just depends upon their seasoning, of course. Now, it just depends upon a lot of factors. I mean, our customer service plays into that. The quality of our products and food goes into that. But one thing's for certain: when this taco frenzy calms down, not everybody's going to survive. Even though they make a decent taco, they may not survive. There's going to be some people that are going to fall to the wayside. Then it becomes a problem, because these guys have to close up their business. And like I said, some of the people that make crappy tacos are going to survive, but some of the people that make great tacos are not going to survive. The reason that I tell you this story is because when we look over the last year, there has been high demand for certain businesses. And this ties into our episode last week. And I specifically want to focus on the people that have been having a fantastic year in their business. And part of the reason that some folks have done great is because people's life changed, if you will, over this past year with coronavirus, right? So more people were working from home. People's kids were at home more because they were having to be homeschooled. This whole dynamic of how we live our life changed. People weren't going into the office. So the commuting went down and whatnot. So some businesses hurt it. Like, for example, food stores and all. It's funny, I use a taco as an analogy, but some of the food places kind of did not do well unless they went to delivery for home. Then they did a little bit better. But a lot of those businesses that went into people's homes did really well. And people have had, they started spending money on the things that made them feel good. And there's all kinds of different businesses. Well, part of the challenge is, as the world gets back, the world's not getting back. Let's just say the U.S. is starting to get back a little bit more to normal. What's going to happen is people's focus and what they spend their time and energy on is also going to change. So some of the businesses out there that have been doing fantastic, the demand and need is going to drop. The question is, will you be one of those people that survive? If you've been a longtime listener of the show, one of the things that I really try to pay attention to is when I start getting the same question or a similar version of the question multiple times in a week, because that's a sign that I'm supposed to talk about it. And I will tell you, over this past week and a half, I've actually had several emails, phone conversations, coaching calls, in-person conversations with people, all in regards to expanding their business and doing more because they've had the best year they've ever had. And here's the thing. I don't mean to be the fireman putting out the fire that you've got going, but the thing is you got to have a controlled fire, if you will. When someone comes to me and they ask me, hey, I really want to open up this brick and mortar business. I want to take my business and go to brick and mortar. Or, hey, I want to buy this other truck, or I want to expand one way or another. One of the very first questions that I always ask people is, what's it going to cost? Have you run your numbers? And here's why I ask that question. Because, for example, let's just say someone wants to take their business and they need office space, or they need a place to store their goods, or maybe they just need to put the whole business to a brick and mortar. You got to run the costs. And what happens is a lot of times people they come and they go, oh man, I can totally get this space and it's only going to be $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month, whatever the price is, it doesn't matter. But they come back and they say they got the screaming deal on X and it's in a great location and it's going to help their business and it's the right thing for their business. Now that might be true if ideally they could be in that business and it might be great, but here's the problem. If you don't run the numbers, you'll never know. Let's just say, and I'm just going to use some numbers here. Let's say you can get a fantastic location to either store stuff or to run your business out of, or maybe you can get a screaming deal on a truck, whatever the case may be. And let's just say it's $2,000. And I say you need to run the numbers. Well, first off, let's go look at that. That $2,000, you got a couple different things going. Yes, you might be able to rent it for $2,000, but in order for you to get it ready to use and to open up that business, you have to remodel it. You have to make it look like your business. You have to buy equipment to fill that business. You have the ongoing expenses that go along with that business. For example, any utilities or anything else that you need to have there. Internet, I used to say, well, sometimes water is included, sometimes it's not included. You need to get all of the costs associated with A, getting that location up and running, and B, the ongoing expenses for that business to keep going. Sometimes it also comes with more people, because if you go from a truck to where you can open and close whenever you want and take it wherever you want to a brick and mortar, most people are going to expect you to be open. Might be 8 to 5, 8 to 6, 9 to 6, 9 to 10, 10 to 10, whatever. People are going to expect you to be open, which means unless you plan to put your happy butt in that business 7 days a week, you're going to have to probably end up finding more people and hire more people. So that's additional costs that you don't have today. And that's some of the stuff you need to find out. You need to run all of those numbers. So let's just say that the simple $2,000 great thing that you can get your hands on or be part of is really going to cost you, say, $25,000, $30,000 to get up and running. And then your monthly cost to be able to do it actually is really about $5,000. If you sell tacos, and let's just say that you make a profit of $1 every single taco, and you are now looking at $5,000. Well, first you got to come up with the $25,000 to get the place going, and you need the $5,000 a month to pay for the new taco place that you built. Well, if you think about it, and if you make $1 a taco in profit on average, not only do you need 5,000 tacos a month just to break even, you still need to sell 25,000 additional tacos to pay off the debt or create the money that you needed to start the business in the first place. And that's just to break even, okay? That's just to break even. That's not to make any more money. So let's just say that you go out and you're doing all of this work and all this hustle and you're like, oh, I can easily do that business and I can break even. Great. Did you get into the business to break even? Is it worth all the hassle and the pain to go from what you currently have today to take on all of that responsibility, all of that debt, all of that stuff to make the same exact money? No. The reason that you buy another truck or expand is because you're going to make even more money. So for example, in our taco place, right? If that person has done their numbers and worked it out and they said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to be able to go from selling 10,000 tacos a month. Now I can sell 50,000 tacos a month. Well, guess what? They're going to way more than cover what it is. It might take them 2 to 3 months to pay off the $25,000. And they easily are going to be able to not only make the $5,000 they need to be able to pay their monthly stuff, but they're going to make an additional $5,000 to $10,000 above and beyond what they made in their previous location. location. That makes sense. One, it makes sense if they can maintain that. But what if all of a sudden the demand for tacos changes? And now they've signed a 10-year lease on this new taco place and nobody wants their stuff. And yet now they're still sitting there with this 10-year lease on a taco place that they're going to have to find another use for it if nobody wants any tacos. Here's the thing. We all know that people are going to always love tacos. And if you've got the best tacos and you've got the best customer service and people are willing to get in their car and drive to your location, then you know what? You're probably going to be okay. As long as you are working your numbers and you understand your numbers really well, then you're probably going to be okay. But here's the problem. Because the taco business was crazy and every Tom, Dick, and Harry got into the tacos, not everybody ran a great business. There were people that were spending the money as fast as it was coming in. They didn't sock away any money whatsoever for any, not only future growth, but just to reinvest back into their business to get better at their craft, to make a better taco, for example. And now when the taco business goes down, guess what? Their business folds. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to get across in this taco analogy, and I don't know if it's coming across in every way that it needs to. But here's the thing, folks. One, you've got to be really good at what it is that you do. And you need to really understand your business numbers. Because if, for whatever reason, when this craziness and people get back to a new normal and we start settling in, and I personally believe it's going to be a hybrid. I personally believe that people driving to a location for work is not going to be as like it once was. I think we're going to find a hybrid of where there's a lot more people working from home. And there's going to be a lot more people that do decide to stay with homeschooling. I do think that there's going to be a lot of people that can't wait to shove their kids back to school and get in their car and get away from their house and go back to a location. I do think that, most restaurants will come back and all that other stuff. So your business is going to tweak. It's going to tweak and it's going to land somewhere between what it was and where it is now. So you need to ask yourself, what does your business look like? Some of you made some fantastic tweaks to your business, and you need to ask yourself going, wow, when things get back to quote unquote normal, what am I going to keep? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You want to continue doing some of those things. If you came up with a way to service your people remotely, maybe you need to keep doing it. There's been some technology where people have now gone to, and I'm not just talking Zoom. For example, I'm talking about things where people used to have to go to a brick and mortar to sign stuff or to do stuff. But guess what? Those businesses now have found a way to do it online to make it faster. More people have purchased, you can love or hate Amazon, but guess what? It's never going to be the same because people that hated to buy online have been forced to buy online for some things. And guess what? They realized, it's not as big of a pain in the keister as they want. When they have to get back in their car and drive across town to get something that they could have just got online and got it ordered, they're going to go, wow, I can't believe I used to really do this. I kind of like buying online. So you need to prepare your business for the fact, will it be as strong post this or not? I know some of you are thinking, Tammy, what is the point of why you keep rattling about this taco shop? Let me tell you, here's what I'm talking about. If your business did extremely well this past year, here's what I want you to do. If you are thinking about expanding and growing your business, the first thing I need you to do is to run your numbers. And I want you to run your numbers, and I want you to make sure that you are including all of the costs associated. And I want you to say, this is exactly what it's going to cost me to build it and then to maintain it. And then I want you to work your numbers backwards and say, how much do I need to do in sales in order to accomplish that, to make that monthly nut that you have just created for yourself? Then I want you to ask yourself, will you make enough profit above and beyond that to make it worth it? Because I'm telling you, when you go from, say, 3 employees or a single operation to all of a sudden you got 5 to 10 people, that changes the dynamic. Yes, you might make more money, but also your headaches grew, the pain in the butt grew, the number of people that you have to deal with. You're spending way more time on customer problems and employee problems and everything else. And life was going to look so much more simpler before you ever did this. I've watched businesses that when they were running them out of their house or out of their garage or out of their truck, and they were doing fantastic. And the minute that they went and bought a brick and mortar or they expanded it, guess what? They hated it and their business crashed and burned. And they had a fantastic, great business, but they bit off more than they could chew. And they just saw dollar signs going, oh my God, I'm doing so great, so great, so great. I need to now jump and expand and do all that. And that is not the case. That just is not the case for everybody. It needs to make financial sense, and you have to make sure it's something that you're going to dedicate yourself to. Because if all of a sudden you're able to create your own hours because you run a truck or you run it out of your truck, and now you go brick and mortar, well, guess what happens when you go brick and mortar? There's going to be some hours on the door. And there's going to be an expectation that if you say you're open from 9 to 6, that you are open from 9 to 6, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever that case may be. And if you're used to the fact that you can kind of come and go or work around appointments, or, if you want to take off to go do something, you can just schedule around that. Well, guess what? When you have that brick and mortar, you can't do that. And if you have a brick and mortar, all of a sudden, guess what? You also, unless you go out and hire tons of people, which, by the way, is another cost that you need to make sure that you associate, right? Because not only when you're hiring a bunch of people do you have their payroll, you have all of the expenses that go around to having an employee, which is your insurance goes up, your training costs go up, your uniforms go up, your supplies go up. That $15 employee might actually be $20 to you. And by the way, if the employees don't show up, guess who gets to cover the floor? Because you have a brick and mortar now and it needs to be open during those hours. Those are the kinds of questions that you need to ask yourself as you start to think of expanding your business. And please do not even think about expanding your business if you don't know your business numbers. If you can't read a profit and loss statement for your business, or you don't even know what a profit and loss statement is for your business, then you definitely have no business expanding your business yet, because you don't understand the flow of money from your business. Now, I always preach, right? Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profit. Some of you even say that with me when I say it, but sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits. You got to understand that basics before you can move on, before you can expand. Because if you don't really fully understand how much it costs you to make your taco, how do you know how many tacos you need to sell to pay for whatever it is you want to go out and you want to do? But all you know is that, hey, my register has an extra $1,000 in it every single month. I can easily pay for whatever. No, maybe your register has that extra $1,000, but if you really dived into your numbers, and you were smart about the money that you were spending, you would find that you had an extra $500, $2,000 you could get just by running a better business. Or you might find that, that you've got costs and things that you haven't even prepared for, and all of a sudden you don't have those kinds of expenses if all of a sudden you were to change your expenses. I know I'm rattling on and on about this, but my main point is there's going to be, when that taco, let's go back to the taco business. When that taco business starts to dwindle down and starts to go away, the truly good people that really know how to run a business are going to survive. The people that have been in their numbers and are really in tune with the business and can see the fact that, hey, the writing's on the wall. I can see that, normally I have 3,000 taco buyers a month, and last month I had 2,800. And wow, I'm on track to have 2,700. And I'm really paying attention to my numbers. I can see that I need to start making plans because maybe the taco demand is going down. But what happens is there's a lot of taco people out there that are like, they're oblivious to the fact that they went from 3,000 customers to 2,700 customers to 2,500 customers. They just know they're busy as crap and they've got tons of money, and they're not connecting the dots that something's on the horizon. Something's going to change in that taco business. And the ones that make the tweaks and changes are going to survive because they know that people are still going to want tacos, but it's not going to be the craziness of the tacos that are out there that are today. You have to look at your business and ask the same thing. What is your business going to look like? Don't be arrogant. Don't think that your business is better than all the other businesses. You need to make sure that you dive into the numbers, you look at how you run your business, and make smart business decisions. Listen, I want every single person who had a fantastic year this past year to continue that flow. I want you to take everything that you've learned, good, bad, and ugly, and I want you to continue to make even more money. But I want you to do it with your eyes wide open and not in some la land thinking, oh my God, this is never going to end. I'm watching it, for example, even in real estate. A lot of you guys know I sell real estate. I'm watching. There's a few of us that can see some changes on the horizon, and we've been talking about it. And meanwhile, there's other people out there thinking that it's never going to end and they're going to continue to make all this money. Well, guess what? That's not happening. There's real estate agents that are getting jobs again because they can't sell anything. Because but all they hear is, oh my God, real estate's fantastic. All you got to do is show up. No, some people you got to write. I wrote an offer the 10th offer for one of my clients on something, and they're a fantastic, great buyer, and they cannot buy a house. 10 offers, all declined. Okay, it's crazy out there. So you have to be able to say, how am I going to change my business and tweak my business? How am I going to be able to ride that out when things are like that? It's not like everybody can get a house. It's not like everybody can get a taco. Or when things start to go down and tacos are hard to find, what if it went the other way? That people still had this massive craving and there were no tacos. How are they going to find your business? My main thing that I'm trying to get across is, look, if you had a fantastic year, please, please, please make sure you take the time to learn your numbers, to understand your numbers, to understand what your customers' needs are, not just today, but what are your customers' needs tomorrow? What are the things, what's life going to look like? When people get back to work and people start going back, how can you take your business model and tweak it to be able to continue to do that? What did you learn? You know what, if you've just been doing business because everybody decided, to pay attention to their house or to their backyard, and everybody's been wanting to make their backyards fantastic, and you've been writing that out. Okay, great. What are you going to do when all of a sudden people don't care about their backyards like they once did? What are you going to do? How are you going to replace that business? What are you going to do? I just want you to start asking yourself questions. Now, I may not be giving you all the answers that you need, but my main goal with today's episode, and I'm probably going to talk about this a bunch over the next couple of weeks, because I really want to help people dial in to their business and understanding their business and what are the changes that they need to make within their business so that they can continue to ride this wave of good business that they have. But I want you to be realistic about it. And I want you to take the story of the taco business and ask yourself, am I in a business that just went crazy because it went crazy for everybody? What made my business tick? What made my business take off? Did my business take off this past year because of something that I did? Or did my business take off because everybody and their mother wanted a taco? If you created a business that wasn't dependent upon all of that, great, that's fantastic. You need to figure out what do you need to do to continue to make that go in other directions. But if your business took off because that particular type of business went through the roof, then you need to ask yourself, how are you going to be the last man standing or the last woman standing? What are you going to do that's going to put you in that position? All right, I'm just rattling. I know I'm rattling, but I just want to put some food for thought out there, and I really want people to really think about their business and what made that business take off and what made that business so good, and then work themselves backwards into things. And like I said, I'm here. If you want to email me, I answer all my emails. I may not be as timely as I'd like to be sometimes because of being crazy busy, but email me, Tammy@localsmallbusinesscoach.com, Tammy@localsmallbusinesscoach.com. Email me. I'll be glad to answer questions. I hop on a call for some people. It just depends. But listen, I want you to take a look at your business, and I want you to understand where that business is coming from, and I want you to make smart decisions for the future. And I'm not telling you not to expand. For some of you, you absolutely need to expand. You absolutely need to buy equipment. You absolutely need to buy trucks. You absolutely need to go into a brick and mortar. I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm just telling you to slow your roll, think about it, run the numbers, and make sure that you have a plan B for your business. Because if all of a sudden it tweaks or changes again as people go into this next year of a new hybrid model, which is exactly what's going to happen, it's going to be a hybrid model of living. Will your business continue to boom? Will your business continue to do good? There's people out there being doomsayers and the world's going to come to an end and we're going to drive the market to the ground and this and that. If you really believe that, then you're going to make that happen for your business. What you have to ask yourself is, I want you to be smart and see what's coming. I want you to be prepared for what's coming, but I also want you to say, hey, I'm going to focus on my business and the community that I serve and the pain points I solve. And I'm going to say, hey, how can I make a business that can weather anything that may or may not come? Because there's a lot of people that ran a lot of businesses when the market crashed back in 2008, and they came out of it. They survived. Lots of scratches and bruises, but they survived. That's what you want to study. It's because they ran a really good business behind the scenes. We are not going to be, I don't care what any of these doomsdayers say. I promise you, I seriously doubt that we're going to crash like we did in 2008. but you're going to see some bumps. Some businesses are absolutely going to see some bumps. You're going to see businesses that have had a horrible past 12 months that are going to have a fantastic next 12 months because everybody's that pent up business. For example, travel. Nobody's traveled. The business is tanked. Well, guess what? Now everybody wants to get out and they want to travel and they want to go see stuff. Guess what? Their business, it's going to flip flop. Their business is going to take off. And any business that was dependent upon people being at home is going to start to slow down and crash because guess what? They're not at home. They're traveling. You need to ask yourself, how are those changes going to impact your business? Okay. If people woke up tomorrow and they didn't want your tacos and they wanted hamburgers, what are you going to do? That's the biggest thing. I keep rattling. I could do this all day long, but please, please, please make sure you spend some time thinking about this and your business and what tweaks and changes do you need to make in your business so that you can continue to ride this out and make the most money that you can and make sure you make smart business decisions and you know those business numbers. I'm going to say it and I'm going to say it again and I'll say it again. Know your business. Know those business numbers. Make sure you're diving into your business, that your eyes are wide open, that you're taking care of your customers. You know what pain point you solve and you continue to listen to your customers so you can continue to solve that pain point and you adjust your business as necessary. Running a business is course correcting all of the time. It's just like a plane in the air that they have to constantly, the winds move them off. They got to course correct. Boats in the water, course correct, so they can all get to their destination. Your business is the exact same way. You're going to have bumps and bruises along the way. It's what you learn from everything. It's about keeping your eyes wide open and looking for those trends and seeing what's happening. It's all of that stuff. All right, get out there, run your business, reach out if you need to. I'm here for you. We'll talk about this some more in the next couple of weeks because I want to help make sure that you guys all have a fantastic next 6 months to 12 months and forward to infinity and beyond. Just kidding. I'm out of here. I'm losing it. Talk to you later. Bye for now. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell. It's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.